What's cracking, peeps? Darren McDuffie here, alias Fat Man, helping you become perfectly healthy and toned and conscious, of course. I'm out here in nature. You wonder why I'm always doing my videos when I'm walking out here in nature, because it's just my time to connect and disconnect, so to speak. Things out here are still, and it gives me a chance to kind of tune in and hear the messages that I need to hear, and then I can go about my day. But I wanted to share something with you, and I did this on a Facebook Live event about 2 or 3 weeks ago, and some of you might have seen that and some of you may have not. But again, as I was walking today, it came up for me to convey this message again, so that's why I'm doing it. But when I was a child and I was growing up, I had a lot of problems with learning my colors, learning my numbers. I wasn't reading that well, and I managed to get to the 3rd grade. In the 3rd grade, my grades weren't that good. And I remember near the end of the school year, my mom came to me and she said, I made a decision for you to repeat the 3rd grade. I was in the 3rd grade, but I was reading on a 1st grade reading level. I'll say that again, in the 3rd grade, but reading on a 1st grade reading level. But I wanted to go on. I wanted to go on to 4th grade because all my friends were going to 4th grade. I made friends. And I thought about how humiliated I would be at the same school, watching my friends be in another grade while I was in 3rd grade. But my mom just told me, she said, you are going to repeat the 3rd grade. And I had so much disdain for my mother at that time, but I realized in hindsight that that was a blessing for me. Now, when I repeated 3rd grade, something clicked within me. I watched my peers going to the 4th grade, and that kind of lit a fire up under my butt. And I started to change my story, because my story at the time was, I'm not that smart, I'm not that intelligent, I'm just kind of mediocre, and that's all I'm ever going to be. But when I saw my peers going to 4th grade, again, I was like, I got to get to work. And something clicked within me. I just started believing in myself more. I started to have more confidence. And again, I changed that story that I was telling in my head. I was just saying, you can do this, you can get this done. And I did. I started to do better. By 4th, 5th grade, my grades started to improve. My reading comprehension came up. By the time I got into 6th grade, which was considered middle school for where I came from, they had standardized tests. I started to do better on the standardized tests. Every year I would do better on the standardized tests. And I remember, I believe this was around 7th or 8th grade, they had a program. They started a program within my district called Talented and Gifted. And you were able to go to school on Saturdays. There were no tests. You were just able to take classes of interest that weren't in your normal curriculum. And I took creative writing one year, and then I took earth science one year, which are 2 things that I still really have admiration for to this day. But when I first attended that class, I remember sitting in there on a Saturday morning in the orientation, and I was looking around at all these smart, intelligent kids, and it dawned on me that I am smart, I am intelligent as well. And I lit up. I just lit up, because I knew that I had been believing my own story. You make your story and you believe it. And a lot of people do this. But I chose to change my story. I chose to get out of that story and just start telling myself a new story, one that was better feeling to me, one that I'm intelligent, one that I'm smart. And I would encourage you to do the same thing. Now, when I got into high school, again, things were changing. I was still scoring high on the standardized tests. Good grades, honor roll. Ended up getting a full basketball scholarship to attend college, athletic scholarship to attend college, and I attended college, made the dean's list a couple of times, and was just able to use basketball as a tool to see different places, experience many different things. So I'm very thankful for that. And ultimately, I ended up graduating with a degree in business. So when I look back on that, I realized two things from this. One is that sometimes when we're in a situation, we think that it's negative. You can't see what I would call 4 clicks out in front of you and knowing how whatever happens to you might end up being a blessing. I thought repeating the 3rd grade was so detrimental to me, but it ended up being a blessing, because I don't know if I ever would have pursued athletics or any of that if I had not repeated the 3rd grade. So that ended up being a blessing for me. And then on my athletic, I would say on my athletic tip, as we call it, athletically, I wasn't that good. In 7th grade, I was not that good in basketball. I will kid you not. 8th grade, I tended to be, I got a little bit better. And then by 10th grade, my height, my skills kind of started catching up. And then 11th and 12th grade, I was all area, all state. And like I said, I ended up getting a basketball scholarship. But when I started out, I sucked. And I remember how my friends used to tease me all the time because I was a little bit taller than the average person, but I was just a goofy kid. I just did not have the coordination. And I remember all I ever wanted to be athletically was better than my cousin and my friend. They were so much better than me athletically when it came to basketball and even in football that I just wanted to be better than them. And I would practice. I would take that basketball around with me all the time and practice anytime I got a chance to play with other people. I would play. I remember riding my sister's bike to the local YMCA to shoot and play until I got better. So where you are right now does not have to be your final destination. Sometimes we are given circumstances and we tend to lie in those circumstances and never want anything better for ourselves. You can change your story. A lot of times the voices in our head are there to keep us safe. They are there to keep you where you are so you don't go out and venture out and feel that fear and have to face that fear or have to get in touch with your emotions. So I would encourage you to start getting in tune with who you are, getting in tune with what you want, because you can have what you want. It's just a matter of changing the story that you tell yourself. A lot of people are living what they're living because they keep telling themselves the same story over and over again. You tell yourself a different story, you will start living that story. If you have a vision in your mind dictates the body, and the body will soon follow, and the body will get there. The physical will get there. So I just wanted to share my testimony with you as to where I came from, my path, where I'm going, in hopes that it would inspire you to, again, change your story. Look back on your life and realize that whatever's happened to you is not something that's happened to you. It's something that happened for you. Darren McDuffie, alias Fat Man, helping you become perfectly healthy and toned. One love, y'all. I'm out.